silent execution is happening in Detroit as we speak. This isn't a hostile takeover or a bad business deal. It's a kill order, signed and delivered from Washington, D.C. It's a carefully planned assassination of an American icon, happening right under our noses. For decades, the sound of an American truck was the sound of a V8 engine. It was the deep, guttural soundtrack of hard work, of freedom on the open road, and of the sacred promise that you could fix your own machine with your own two hands. It was the rumble that announced the arrival of a friend, a neighbor, a helping hand. But what if I told you that sound is being deliberately, systematically outlawed? Forget consumer choice. Forget what generations of hardworking Americans have demanded. A new wave of devastating government regulations has just delivered a death blow to the very heart of American trucks. 3 legendary brands are now on the chopping block. Their most iconic, beloved engines killed off not by a lack of demand, but by a bureaucratic mandate. You need to hear this. This isn't just about cars. It's about the slow erosion of our freedom to choose. Stick with me, because what I'm about to reveal affects the truck in your driveway and the future of American identity on 4 wheels. Hit that subscribe button right now, because we're diving into the truth the mainstream news won't dare to touch. The first casualty. Ram's Hemi dynasty executed. We have to start with the first and most brutal casualty, the one that sent shockwaves through the entire industry, Ram. For over 20 years, the Hemi engine has been more than just a piece of engineering. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was a badge of honor proudly displayed on the fender, a source of raw, unbridled pride that spawned one of the most famous catchphrases in automotive history, "That thing got a Hemi?" That question wasn't about cubic inches. It was a challenge. It was a statement. Answering yes meant you bought into a legacy of unapologetic, thunderous American power that traced its roots back to the golden age of muscle cars and the battlegrounds of NASCAR. The 5.7L Hemi V8 wasn't just an option. For millions, it was the Ram truck. It was the heart, the soul, and the thunder that made a Ram a Ram. Imagine for a second, a teenager at his first car show. He doesn't know much about engines, but then he hears it, a deep, rhythmic thump 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 that vibrates through the pavement and into his chest. A Ram 1500 rolls by, and the owner gives the throttle a little tap. The sound erupts into a roar that isn't just loud, it's alive. In that moment, a lifelong enthusiast is born. That is the power the Hemi had. It didn't just move a truck, it moved people. And now, it's gone. This isn't a rumor or a prediction, it's a hard, cold fact written in the corporate annals. If you go to order a brand new 2025 Ram 1500, the Hemi V8 is not on the options list. It has been officially and unceremoniously executed. In its place, you'll find the new 3.0L twin-turbo Hurricane Inline-6. Now listen, the engineers and marketing teams will point to a spreadsheet and tell you it's better. On paper, the numbers are impressive. More horsepower, more torque, better fuel economy. It's a marvel of modern engineering, but that's not the point, is it? You can't replace an identity with a spreadsheet. You can't replace the ground-shaking rumble of 8 cylinders firing in sequence with the sterile, high-pitched whir of a Turbo 6, no matter how fast it is. The Hurricane is efficient, but the Hemi was an event. Every cold start was a declaration. Every full-throttle pull was a symphony. So why would they do it? Why would Ram kill its golden goose? Picture this. You're the head of Ram. You love the Hemi. Your customers love it. It's the strongest brand asset you have. But a group of regulators who have never towed a trailer or hauled a load of lumber hand you a new rulebook. This rulebook says your entire company has to achieve an impossibly high fuel economy average. Every Hemi you sell feels like a victory on the showroom floor, but is a catastrophic failure on their government score sheet. The fines for failing aren't thousands, they are billions. The choice becomes brutally simple: kill your soul, or they kill your company. The fallout was immediate and chaotic. Dealers saw a frantic rush of buyers, cash in hand, trying to scoop up the last remaining 2024 models, the final specimens of a dying breed. The used market for low-mileage Hemi trucks exploded overnight, with prices reaching absurd levels. A brotherhood of owners connected by that 3-letter badge suddenly felt like their flag had been torn down by forces they couldn't fight. But that's not all. This was just the opening shot. As shocking as Ram's public execution was, what's happening at Ford is arguably more sinister. It's a slow, calculated assassination of a legend, happening in broad daylight. Ford's quiet betrayal. The F-150 loses its heart. For over 40 consecutive years, The Ford F-150 has been the best-selling vehicle in America. Not just the best-selling truck, the best-selling vehicle. It's more than a machine, it's a fixture of the American landscape, an unwavering symbol of dependability, and for generations the backbone of that institution, the engine that built its reputation for unkillable reliability, has always been the simple, tough, naturally aspirated V8. Today, that legacy is carried by the 5.0L Coyote V8. It's the modern evolution of Ford's legendary small block, a sophisticated yet brutally effective engine that delivers the low-end grunt needed for work and a high-revving thrill that no turbo can replicate. It's the go-to choice for contractors, farmers, and anyone who wants a no-nonsense workhorse they can count on for 300,000 miles or more. But hold up. Ford is playing a different, darker game than Ram. They are too smart to face the public relations nightmare of an outright execution. So instead of a guillotine, they've chosen poison. The Ford V8 isn't officially dead, but it is being quietly, methodically strangled into extinction. Imagine a father and his teenage daughter in their garage on a Saturday morning. The hood of their F-150 is up. He's showing her how to check the oil, how to identify the alternator, how to tighten a belt. The engine bay is open and honest. You can see the parts. You can touch them. It's a lesson in mechanics, but it's also a lesson in life. With the right tools and a little knowledge, you can be self-sufficient. This is the ritual that the simple V8 has enabled for generations. Now, Ford's strategy is to erase that scene. The same regulatory laws that executed the Hemi are forcing Ford to make the V8 an endangered species. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. Their entire corporate strategy is now designed to push you away from it. Imagine you walk onto a dealership lot today, ready to buy the V8 truck you've been saving for. The salesman, guided by corporate incentives, immediately steers you towards an EcoBoost. He pulls out an iPad, showing you charts and graphs about fuel savings and torque curves. He never mentions the long-term reliability concerns, the complexity, or the fact that when something breaks, it's a $1,000 computer diagnosis, not a $50 part you can replace yourself. You feel the pressure. The truck you wanted is hard to get, but they have dozens of the ones they want you to buy. The consequence of this slow-motion betrayal is devastating. The simple, reliable truck that you could repair in your driveway is vanishing. It's being systematically replaced by more complex, more expensive powertrains that are a black box to the average owner. This taps into a real-world debate that rages in online forums every day. The long-term reliability of a high-strung EcoBoost with its carbon buildup issues and delicate turbos versus the battle-tested simplicity of a V8. One is designed for a government test. The other was designed for a lifetime of work. Ford is letting their V8 wither on the vine, hoping we'll be too distracted by shiny touchscreens to notice the betrayal of their most loyal customers. But you wouldn't believe what Chevrolet is being forced to do. For the undisputed king of the small block, the end is coming faster than anyone thinks. Here's the truth. Chevrolet's death row, the final stand of the small block. If there is one engine that defines the soul of American automotive history, it is the Chevrolet Small-Block V8. Born in 1955, this engine was a revolution. It was light, powerful, and endlessly modifiable. It democratized performance. It powered the Bel Airs and Camaros that defined the muscle car era. It became the foundation for hot rodding, drag racing, and grassroots motorsports for an incredible 70 years. It is, without exaggeration, the heartbeat of America. In the modern era, that legacy beats on in the Silverado, with the rock-solid 5.3L V8, the dependable engine found in millions of work trucks, and its big brother, the powerhouse 6.2L V8, an engine that shares its DNA with the C8 Corvette. Think about the families built on this legacy. Picture a family where the grandfather still has his rusty but running 1972 C10 with a 350 small block. His son drives a 1998 Silverado with the 5.7L Vortec, an engine he knows like the back of his hand. Now, his own son is ready for his first truck. The tradition, the shared knowledge, the very mechanical DNA of the family is tied to the Chevy Small-Block, and now that chain is about to be broken. When Chevy loyalists see what happened to the Hemi and witness Ford's quiet retreat, they get defensive. They stand firm, pointing to the millions of V8-powered Silverados still being built, and they think, Chevy is different. Chevy would never fold. But you have to open your eyes and see the writing on the wall. The same regulatory tidal wave that drowned the Hemi and is strangling Ford's V8 is now forming a tsunami aimed directly at Chevrolet. The evidence is everywhere. General Motors is making a massive, desperate marketing push for their 2.7L four-cylinder Turbo-Max engine, trying to convince lifelong V8 buyers that a four-banger can do the job of 8. And that's not all. Look at their real priorities. GM has bet the entire future of the company on their Ultium battery platform. They talk about an all-electric future in every press release. The Silverado EV is their new poster child. The message from the boardroom is crystal clear. The internal combustion engine's days are numbered, and the big, thirsty, non-compliant small-block V8 is first on the chopping block. Its continued existence is just a temporary measure to fund the transition to the future they've been mandated to build. This is where the total panic starts now. The panic isn't that the Silverado V8 is gone today. The panic is the chilling, sudden realization that it is living on borrowed time. It is an outlaw. It is a glorious relic that stands in direct opposition to the government's agenda. It is on death row. The Chevy Small-Block is the last holdout. When GM is finally forced to drop the axe on the Silverado's V8, and believe me, that day is coming, it will mark the official end of an era. The age of the traditional American V8 truck will be over, forever. The mandate and the memory. So here we are, surveying the wreckage. The dust is settling, and the battlefield is clear. Ram's legendary Hemi, a cultural icon, has been publicly executed. Ford's workhorse V8, the heart of the F-150, is being slowly and quietly starved into submission. And Chevrolet's iconic small block, the engine that powered America for 70 years, is on death row, waiting for the inevitable. Let's be crystal clear about one thing. This was not your choice. This was not the decision of the free market. You, the American truck buyer, have been screaming for these engines. Demand has never been higher. But your voice was drowned out by the stroke of a pen in a quiet, air-conditioned office in Washington, D.C. This is a story of a government mandate crushing consumer demand, a story of a widening, unbridgeable gulf between the policymakers and the people who actually build this country. It's like watching the last of the great rock and roll bands being told they can no longer use electric guitars. Sure, they can be replaced by a DJ with a laptop that makes technically perfect music, but where is the soul? Where is the sweat? Where is the raw human emotion? That's what we're losing. We're losing the mechanical soul of our machines. Imagine, 20 years from now, trying to explain it to your grandkids. You'll be standing next to a silent, humming electric vehicle, and you'll try to describe the feeling of a V8 engine turning over on a cold morning. You'll try to explain the satisfaction of changing your own oil, the pride of hearing an engine you tuned yourself roar to life. It will sound like a fairy tale, a story from a forgotten world. This is where the fight for the soul of the American truck begins. It's no longer in the hands of Detroit's engineers, but in ours. It's up to us to become the historians, the archivists of the V8 era. It's up to us to keep these magnificent machines running, to preserve the knowledge, and to tell the next generation what was lost, not by choice, but by force. So I want to hear from you. It's your turn. Let me know your story in the comments. What truck do you drive, and what does it mean to you? Tell me your V8 story. I'm reading every single one. And make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, because the next phase of this government war on the combustion engine is already in motion, targeting heavy-duty trucks and performance cars next. You need to be prepared for what's coming. What are some ways to keep my V8 running longer? What are the specific regulations causing this? What other car brands are affected by this law?